Hi everyone, it's Dawn. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have 4 new drugstore products that are pretty popular. They're being hyped up a little bit right now, and I thought that I would review them for you. As soon as I found out that some of these products were released like a month ago, I ordered them up, but it took a really long time for shipping, and I think it had to do with the holidays, so I'm not going to be too harsh on the company. I did place another order just yesterday to get a few more products to try. And yeah, fingers crossed. I'm hoping that the shipping won't take honestly, it was like 5 or 6 weeks. And I finally got my box. So I got it like 5 days ago. So I've been trying some of these products for the past week or so. And one of the products is a first impression from NYX, and I'll show you what it is. It is the NYX Bear With Me Blur Foundation. I have reviewed for you the Bear With Me concealer, and that's absolutely wonderful. I actually used mine up. I think I got it like a year ago when it first came out. And that was a very nice product. So I'd been wanting to try this, but whenever I'd go to Ulta, my shade was sold out. But last time I was there, they had it, so I grabbed it up, and I think it retails for about $12 or $13. So it's a good product, and a lot of times NYX has BOGOs, buy one, get one, buy 3 products, get one free. So there's definitely more discounts available if you look for them, or if you cut out your little coupon from your mailer from Ulta. So I'm going to try this, and it's going to be a first impression. So I'll see what it's like along with you. And then I was so excited to see that Milani released a Luminoso palette. Now, Milani is so famous for the Luminoso blush. It's a cult classic, and so many people absolutely love it. I love it too. So I was kind of craving a Luminoso eyeshadow palette. They also have a gloss. So it's like, come on, Milani, give us an eyeshadow palette. So when I first opened it, it wasn't exactly what I expected. And I will tell you my thoughts as I use it. So I hope you'll stick around for that. And then the other thing is from Milani, and it is the new highly rated tubing mascara that everyone is saying is a dupe for the Thrive Liquid Lash Extension Mascara. Now, I've been using this on and off since it came out. This is a newer tube, so they're both pretty fresh. I have been using this for a week now, so I definitely have some thoughts. So it's not a first impression, and I'm going to compare the two and see what I think, and you can see what I think too. And the last product that I'm going to review is something that I was totally taken in by the marketing on the Milani website. I saw that they had a new setting spray called the Milani Make It Last Flora Setting Spray, and I saw this packaging, and I was looking at it and looking at the ingredients, and I was totally sucked in by the spring vibes, because we are having, and I know you guys are going to be like, enough, Dawn, enough. But I'm going to say it one more time. The cloudiest winter that I can remember in like years. I'm happy during sunny winters. I don't mind winter. I just need the sun. So anyways, the spring packaging made me think spring, and I thought, oh, yes, flora, lavender, spring. So I threw it in my online cart and purchased it. So I have some thoughts about this as well. So let's just jump in and review these new on the market drugstore products. The foundation I'm using is the NYX Blur Foundation. And this is a new foundation. And when it first came out, I noticed that they put up the NYX stand in the front of the store at Ulta, and it was kind of hard to find my color, and I didn't really want to try a new foundation. But this finally kept catching my attention, and I decided that I was going to try it for all of you, because it is only $13 if you pay the full retail price. And these are the claims. It's the NYX Blurring Foundation. It does come in a variety of shades. There are 24 total shades. It's perfect for oily to normal skin. It says that on the website. I really like that, because I do have oily skin. Even though I'm in my 50s, I still have some oily, normal skin with some dry patches from over exfoliating, of course. It's good for all skin types also. It says underneath that. It controls shine and gives you 12 hours of hydration. So I guess it's best suited for oily skin because it does have that blurring and oil control element to it. but it is also hydrating. So I guess that's why people with drier skin types can use it as well. And it does have niacinamide, glycerin, matcha green tea, and it is vegan and cruelty-free. So that's good. It needs glycerin because that makes it very hydrating. And it has the green tea in it for antioxidant benefits, and of course some niacinamide for like decongesting pores and lightening up dark spots and things like that. So it sounds good. So I've never used it yet, so this is truly just a first impression. So this is what it looks like. I got kind of a large glob out. I wonder if it's a little too dark. There were so many shades, and like I said, I went with light ivory. I bet that would look really great in the summer when I'm self-tanning, but it might be a little bit dark, but we'll see. I'm just gonna pounce it on with a sponge. Oh no, it doesn't look too dark when I transfer it onto my face. My face has that redness right now, and I think that that kind of gives it a little more color. It's not quite so white. Actually, the color is perfect, and now I'm thinking it might be a little too light. Get a little more of that glob. Maybe I shouldn't be using a sponge because it might absorb some of it. Okay, now I think it's a good match, but I probably could have gone one shade darker. It just looks a little different on my hand than it does on my face. Okay, that's how it looks. It is a little light. I probably could have gone one shade deeper than light ivory, but by the time I put on my bronzer and my blush and all the rest of my makeup, I think it's gonna be just fine. I often get shades that are light like this, and then by the time I'm done, it's just fine. So I'm not worried about that. I'm looking in my really magnified mirror. I'm not even sure how magnified, but it's dangerously magnified. I can see everything, every hair, every pore. And what I'm noticing is that it is kind of blurring. It's definitely blurring, but I am noticing my pores, especially right here. It looks like it might be kind of sitting in those pores a little bit. Now I did just apply it. So, you know, maybe by the time it kind of settles in, it's not bad though, but I am noticing that, and that's something some of my other foundations don't do, but it doesn't make me want to wash it off. It feels very lightweight on the skin, and it has like dried down completely after I applied it. And it does have sort of like a very soft matte finish. It looks like foundation after you apply it and powder it. It has like almost like a powder finish to it. It's not accentuating fine lines and wrinkles or getting into them, but it's not really doing a lot to conceal them at this point either. It does have sort of like that powdery finish, and it definitely is blurring. And from a distance, the way people would really be looking at me, I think it looks really pretty. In the magnifying mirror, like I said, where I can see every hair, every pore, you know, you can be hypercritical, but in my regular mirror, it looks really, really pretty. One thing that I always do, and this isn't a drugstore product, but I like to spritz a little Fix Plus Prep and Prime, this one's in lavender, on these types of foundations that are like soft matte finishes. I feel like it helps them kind of meld into my skin, so I'm gonna do that. This isn't really a setting spray as much as it is like a hydrator. It is a great product to have for tons and tons of reasons. I could make a whole video about this product, but it's a great product for refreshing your makeup. So if you put on your makeup in the morning and it's now 4 in the afternoon and you just want to freshen it a little to get you through dinner, a spritz of this will just make everything look a lot better. So let's see now. You know what? Now looking in the magnifying mirror with that little bit of Fix Plus, it does just kind of soften everything. It doesn't look like it's been powdered, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna go do it and come back because I have a few more products I wanna share with you, and they're mainly eye products. So I am gonna put on a little bit of the Milani Baked Bronzer. Mine is in 04, and this is really a beautiful bronzer. And then, of course, I'm going to use the Luminoso Baked Blush. I love all the formulas of Milani blushes. I think that they are like high-end. I think they're amazing. This one's actually, I'm about to hit pan in it. It doesn't look like it, but these are usually pretty mounded up when you first get them. So I'm kind of on a use up with this. I want to use it and use it and use it till it's gone. So I'm going to put this on, and then I am going to do my lip lips. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do for my lips. So I'll be right back with that makeup on, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. Okay, I did my face and my brows, everything Drugstore. For my brows, I just used the NYX, what is it, Stick It Thick It. I love this product. So it was pretty hard to decide what lip product to use from Milani. I love their old color statement lipsticks. They have one of my absolute holy grail favorite colors in that range. And I also like the Lip Fetish line that they released about a year ago. There's mattes and there's some balms. They're all very, very nice. But I think I'm gonna go with this product. And this is like the matte satin lip products. They are kind of like a whipped product, and they dry down, not like a liquid lip, but like just sort of like a lip cream. And this is in the shade Lavish. And I have this one and I have Fancy. And Fancy is the most beautiful shade of pink on my complexion. Today I want to use Lavish because I think it'll go better with that eyeshadow look. Selected this because I wanted to apply the Luminoso gloss over it. And this is another product that I'm going to be using up. Since I want to use up the Milani Luminoso blush, I'm going to go ahead and use this up as well because I made a big dent in both of these products. So I'm going to throw this in my purse and try to use it as much as possible over the next like 3 or 4 months and hopefully get through it. But it has like a nice doe foot applicator, and I'm just going to apply a little of it because this dries down to like a nice like soft matte, like, or a satin matte, like it claims to do. And this is just a really pretty sparkly peachy pink, like Luminoso. It's really, really pretty. I don't know why I'm just going to use them up because I will probably end up repurchasing them, but I want to make a dent in some of the products in my collection that have been hanging around for a while, ignored, that I really enjoy. So that's what I'm doing. I've already primed my eyelids with the Milani Eyelid Primer, and this is my favorite Drugstore eyelid primer. It's hydrating and it doesn't do anything that I don't like dry out my eyelids or cause any irritation or make my eyes red, and it does what it's supposed to do. It holds my eyeshadow in place and prevents it from creasing or fading during the day. Really, really good product. So this is the Milani Luminoso palette. I've been waiting for Milani to release a Luminoso palette because it's what Milani is kind of like known for. It's like NARS is known for its orgasm range. Charlotte Tilbury is kind of known for pillow talk. Milani, it's like, it always makes me think of Luminoso because it's such a holy grail color for so many of us. So I was just waiting, and I think some of us have been waiting for a Luminoso palette. So here it is, and I was really excited to find it on the Milani website in December, and it took so long for it to ship to me, but it finally got here, and I have played around with it, truth be told. I was going to wait and do a first impression, but I love Milani eyeshadows. They don't have kick up, and they don't fade away during the day, and they don't muddy up when you're applying them. And this formula is no different than the typical Milani formula. I've tried their small palettes, I've tried their larger palettes, and they seem to be consistent across the board. Milani did also release a new, I think they're like 5 or 6 pan palettes that look exactly like the Most Wanted palettes, but they're called Gilded, and they're available on the Milani website too. And when I was in Ulta the other day, I noticed that they had a couple of them in stock, but it looked like they were sold out. Like, they don't stock Milani really well at Ulta. It's like they have this little area where they carry the Milani products, and when something gets sold out, you could check back like 8 days, 10 days later, and it's still not restocked. So Ulta just isn't really great at restocking Milani. I know they also sell Milani at Meijer, my Meijer grocery store, but I don't always look when I'm there because if I go into the makeup section when I'm buying my groceries, then forget it. All bets are off. So this is what it looks like. And you might be thinking, oh, that looks like a really warm eyeshadow palette, Dawn. It looks like something I already have in my collection. And you might, but it's deceiving. When I first opened it up, I thought, oh, it's got a lot of like peachy shades, reddish, pinky shades, bronze and goldy shades and browns. And I was kind of like, that's Luminoso. That doesn't look like what I expected Luminoso to look like. But when you apply them, you do definitely get the look that you're thinking of when you think of Luminoso. And there's enough variety in the shades that you can do like a coppery, bronzy look that really isn't Luminoso, or you can go with the peachy, pinky shades and the reds with a little bit of brown and definitely pull off a Luminoso eyeshadow look, which is what I'm going to share with you today because it's the Luminoso palette. It's the first time I'm using it for you guys, so why not? So here are some swatches of all the shades, and there are 9 shades, and they are a mix of mattes, satins, and some shimmers. And like I said, there are some really kind of peachy shades, some that lean a little more red, and then you definitely have your bronzy, copper, brownie shades. They're all really pretty, really pigmented, and there's not kick up, just like there isn't with the other Milani eyeshadow palettes, at least in my experience. I have not experienced a lot of fallout or kick up when I use Milani eyeshadows. So the first shade I'm going to use is In the Clouds right here. And it does look like a nice kind of beigey brown shade. And I'm picking up kind of a large brush, and I think this is actually a concealer brush, but I like that it covers enough surface area on my big old eyelids. I don't have a lot of eyelid skin here or space, but I have a lot from my brow bone down. So I usually need a lot of product. So the bigger brush is very welcomed for that. And I'm just gonna kind of do the windshield wiper and do the circular motion and apply it all the way from the tail of my brow to the inner corner and just blend that out really nicely for my transition shade. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with this red shade, and this is kind of like a satiny shade, slightly shimmery. And I'm just taking a shader brush and picking up a little of that. And it's so pigmented. You do have to be careful. You don't need to really swirl your brush around in the colors. Just kind of tap it in there and you'll get plenty on your brush. And I am going to take this in the outer corner. Even though I played around with this eyeshadow palette, I'm actually not doing a look I've done already. I've never used this particular shade. I've been a little bit afraid of it, but I'm feeling adventurous. So I'm applying that to the outer corner. And like I said, no kick up. And now I'm gonna go in with Beam right here. And this is also like a satiny shade. It's just like a soft peach. I'm gonna pick that up. And I'm gonna tap that just in the center of my lid. And I'm gonna tap a little bit of that Beam in the inner corner here and underneath my brow in the arch. I think it looks really pretty, like a sunset or sunrise makeup look, and I love that, you know, with the reds and the peachy pinks. I think I want to deepen up the outer corner though. I'm gonna go with, I think it's called Horizon right here, which is one of the deeper shades in the palette, and it's more of like a brown, like a, not quite a terracotta brown, but just like a, I don't know, just like a medium toned, warm toned brown. Just gonna put that right in the outer corner. And I'm not gonna really blend it too much because I don't wanna blend it into the beam that I placed in the center. And I think this is exactly what it needed. Just a little more depth in the outer corner here. And you know what else I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a crease brush and pick up a little more of that, and then just take that like right into the crease, avoiding the beam. I liked the way it looked with the reddish tone, but I wanted to add a little more depth. So I'm kind of fixing something that I didn't like. So you have to bear with me. I probably should have put this down first and then maybe add a little more of those red tones. But anyway, it's just makeup. And when you play with makeup, that's exactly what you do. You just play with it and see how you like it. And I like that better. I like that a lot better. So now I'm wiping off my brush really well, and I'm just gonna just softly blend it a little bit more. I like everything to be very soft and blended out. And now I'm just gonna take a little bit of the beam with my finger and tap a little more in the inner corner, or not the inner corner, the center of my eyelid. Okay, that's how that looks. So I did not use the shade Luminoso, which is this shade right in the center of the palette, and it's really beautiful. It's such a beautiful color, even just on its very own. But I wanted to play around with more of the colors in the palette, more than just Luminoso. So now I'm just gonna take the lighter toned brown again, and I think I'm gonna mix it with the Luminoso a little bit on my brush. And I am just gonna smudge this underneath my lower lash line. I'm just gonna put on my eyeliner, which you've all seen me do, and then I'll move on to the mascara, which is the next product I wanna review for you. Okay, the next product I wanna share with you is the new highly rated lash extension mascara from Milani. And I found out about this from my subscriber friend, Voila. She knows that I love tubing mascaras. And thank you, Voila, for mentioning it to me. As soon as you did, I went online and ordered it along with the Luminoso palette. And it took like 6 weeks for everything to arrive. But with the holidays and everything, that's just fine. It's only makeup. But I have used it several times and I have thoughts. And so many people compare it to the Lash extension mascara from Thrive, and it does have a lot of similarities. So I am going to use this one today, and I'm going to compare it to this one and just tell you how they're alike and how they're different. If you read any reviews, there will be so many people saying it's a dupe, it's a dupe, it's a dupe. And then you'll get a few people saying absolutely not. It's always the case. You're not going to find a product that everybody loves or everybody hates. It's always like a mix. So this is what it looks like. And I don't think it's a mistake that it's pretty much the same kind of color as this one. I think some brands do that on purpose when they're trying to dupe a product. Since this is so popular, I'm sure Milani kind of tried to formulate it like this one. That's my thoughts, because it's got, it looks like a rubber bristle brush. As you can see, it's tapered, thinner at the top, and it gets a little bit wider. It's a good size brush. It's not too large where kind of like you feel like you're gonna poke your eye out. And the wand is not overly flexible. So that's really good. I have read some reviews where a few people said that the bristles aren't very long and don't really grasp their lashes. And that has not been a problem for me, but I have a lot of lashes and they're long, but they're not coarse or super thick. And I think like if I had really kind of thicker, coarser lashes, it would be too short. So I don't want to discount those reviews. I just wanted to tell you what I think the problem might be. And, you know, I'm not a professional mascara reviewer, so just take that with a grain of salt. It's just my thoughts. This is the Liquid Lash Extension Mascara from, or not Liquid Lash Extension, I don't know, the Lash Extension Mascara from Thrive. And it looks like this. Again, the brush is pretty similar. The Thrive is a little bit larger, a little bit. And in terms of the length of the bristles, I have looked at them with my glasses on, but I'm going to do it one more time. They're not long either. They're short, nubby bristles. So I do think that this brush is designed to be like this one, and it's got the same amount of flexibility. Not super flexible, but I like that because it's not going to move around while you're applying the mascara and kind of bounce all over the place. I like that about both of these. They're both tubing mascaras. And so what that means, if you're not familiar, is that when you apply them, they dry down and form little tubes around each lash. And the only way to remove it is not with your makeup remover. It's not like if you jump in a pool or get rained on or something like that, it won't remove your mascara. So it's essentially waterproof or pretty water resistant, but it is removed with warm water and a little bit of pressure. So kind of like I do it in the shower. So it's like really warm water, almost hot. And I get in the shower and the first thing I do is put my face, my full makeup face into the spray. And I keep my face wash in the shower and I just go to work. And when I rub my lashes, it comes off like little tubes and they just wash away like spider legs down the drain. Now, what I have noticed is that this does come off like little tubes and washes away. This comes off in pieces of little tubes. So it essentially does remove the same way, but the tubes seem to kind of break up a little bit. It does seem to work every bit as well as a tubing mascara is supposed to work. And so I did want to tell you that about the removal process. When I get out of the shower, I don't have any residue like around my face. And that's a good thing, because if a tubing mascara does leave a little residue that you need to remove with like makeup remover, it's not really a true tubing mascara. There's still something in there that can run. This does not have that. I do have a couple of qualms, and I'm gonna start applying it, and I'm gonna tell you about my qualms. So I've got my wand all coated up with mascara, and I have already curled my lashes. And so I'm gonna just obviously start at the root and kind of wriggle it in there. So I'm gonna tell you about my qualm. It's not happening right now, but it will. It's a very wet formula, which will change over time, because as you push the wand back in, you're pushing some air in, and it will kind of dry the formula a little bit. So I don't necessarily mind that it's wet, because I think it will just last longer, because it will take longer to dry it out by using it, pushing the wand in. But it's hard sometimes, especially for people who, like me, who use grande lash, and I have really long lashes. So oftentimes I get little spots up here that I have to wipe off really quickly. The bottom, it kind of gets a little bit clumpy too, but the Thrive does too when I use that one. So I just really need one coat, and I'm going to show you. I've got a few clumps right here. It's like kind of clumpy. And what I'm gonna do, oh, and I did get a little beneath, like a spot beneath my eye. So it just combs right out really nicely. So there's not a problem. It doesn't dry super fast. And that's kind of a problem too, because it is such a wet formula. I want it to dry so I can, what if I sneeze or something? I'll have a big old mess. But it takes a second to dry. One coat gives you a really good lash look. You can see that. And I am just going to go ahead and use the Thrive Liquid Lash Extension on my other lashes, just so you can see. And lashes are already curled. And let's see. This is definitely a drier formula. It does not have that issue of, you know, I need to wait for it to dry. It like will not transfer up on my lashes up here because it dries quicker. Okay. So there's one coat, and I'm going to bring you in really close, and you can see it is also a little bit clumpy. Same thing, simple remedy. Just run my little comb through it. This is from Real Techniques, and it's like a little stainless steel comb. Super easy to do. Problem solved. It dries down, and then it's really nice. So, you know, it's got that one little problem. They both have it. This one's a little bit wetter. A coat of the Milani mascara, one coat of the Thrive Liquid Lash Extension mascara, and I think they both look pretty good. Milani, it looks a little bit better, less clumping. It is very wet. You have to kind of work around that, but I think as you use it and push the tube in, it's going to dry out. So there's that. And I think for the price comparison of the two, I think the Liquid Lash Extension retails for $29, and I think the Milani is $19.99, plus you can get like BOGO if you get it at Ulta, and I did notice it is in stock at my Ulta, so that's good. So there's some extra savings there. So I do think that I would not purchase this one again. I will definitely purchase this one again. I'll have to report back though after I use it for a while to tell you how it does over time in the tube. You know, does it dry out? Does the formula kind of change over time and all that kind of stuff? Because you really can't tell that from a first impression. Okay, I have one more product that I'm gonna review really quickly, and I have been using this all week, and it's from Milani, and it's the Make It Last Flora setting spray. And it doesn't claim to be a radiant setting spray, and it doesn't claim to be a matte setting spray. I think it's just is like a normal setting spray. And it does have a slight floral set scent, it does have some floral extracts in it. It has some niacinamide in it. It has some glycerin for hydration. And it also has some denatured alcohol. So I wanted to point that out for those of you who are sensitive to it. I am not, but I think that just helps everything kind of dry down and set more easily. And that's why it's in there. And it's not going to be up against my skin, but nevertheless, it's in there and I wanted you to know about it. I love the packaging. It really caught my eye, and it has just like a nice pump. It's not an aerosol spray, but it does come out like an aerosolized product. And I just give myself a quick spritz. Just once in the center, both sides, and it just feels really fresh. And it does have that very, very light floral scent. It dissipates almost immediately, but it is pleasant. It feels kind of fresh on my skin right after I apply it, and it has been good at helping my foundation and everything stay in place and last all day, whatever foundation I've been using. So I'd really recommend this if you're looking for a drugstore setting spray that is kind of lovely to use. I would recommend this, especially because it isn't a radiant finish and it's not a matte finish. It just kind of like, it doesn't really change the integrity of your makeup at all. It just sets, and sometimes we need that. So let me take my hair down real quick and then I'll bring you in close. Okay, so now I have my hair down. I'm all ready to go. I'm gonna bring you in really close to look at the eyeshadow close up and the foundation, and yeah. I hope you enjoyed this review of some new drugstore products. I'm really pleased with all of them, actually, and I would recommend all of them. So there are some qualms that I mentioned that might be deal breakers for you, and I always like to mention those things because just because something is good for me, we're all so different. So I like to point out the positives and the negatives, and you can make an informed decision. Thank you for spending some time with me. Any questions or comments, leave them down below in the comment section. Say hello. I love interacting with you, and I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. I'll see you next time.